make this video because honestly, a lot of people just hate on Ginny from Ginny and Georgia. Honestly, I don't think Ginny Miller deserves the hate that she gets. Honestly, she is not even that bad of a character. I'm just going to be real with you. I really think that the hate that Ginny Miller gets is really undeserved. Like, this is such an unpopular opinion, but Ginny Miller is really not that bad. Let me just explain to you what my problem is when people say that Ginny is ungrateful and she's a brat and she doesn't appreciate her mom. And just so you know, I am going to be saying some spoilers. So if you haven't watched the full series of Ginny and Georgia, I would recommend you click off this video because I will be saying spoilers. Okay, now that I got that out the way, I'm going to get started. So the reason why I do not agree with everyone is because first of all, before I start about Ginny, let me talk about Georgia. I love Georgia. She is a badass character. I love her, but she is romanticized. She literally killed someone and probably someone else. The season finale hinted that she could have killed someone else too. If this was real life, everyone would not be defending Georgia. And you have to think realistic here. If you found out your mom killed someone, are you just gonna be thankful? No, you're gonna be scared. And especially with her brother Austin, he is showing some violent tendencies, which is very alarming. And of course, Ginny has every right to be scared and worried for her brother's safety because, hello, literally her mom killed someone. I don't know about you, but if I found out my mom killed someone, I would be really scared and terrified. So I feel like Ginny's reaction is valid. And if Georgia was a real person and if she was really your mom, I feel like in real life, people would be a little bit more scared. They would kind of react like Ginny. I mean, Ginny still had her mom's back. She still protected her, but she ran off because she was scared and confused. And what people need to understand before they hate Ginny, excuse me, Ginny has issues. She is literally a 16-year-old girl with issues. She, trigger warning here, she does self harm. She does have some issues about her identity. And people need to realize when you have issues and you question yourself, you're not going to make the best decisions. You're not going to think rationally. And I think that's what makes Ginny's character so realistic. She acts like a teenager. Teenagers are selfish, bratty, and they make stupid decisions. So expecting Ginny to be perfect is unrealistic because she is literally a 60-year-old girl who needs her parents, who needs guidance. And she has issues. She doesn't really understand herself. If you guys watch the show, she is mixed race. And everyone else in the show kind of doesn't really understand her experience because in her lens, she is not white enough, she's not black enough, she feels invalidated, she doesn't feel accepted because not everyone is going to understand her because not everyone is in her shoes, you know? And I honestly don't understand why people hate on Ginny, but on Abby. Abby is just as selfish and bratty, has done mistakes. Yeah, a lot of people praise Abby and not Ginny. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And I personally believe that Ginny is not even a bad character. I think she is very realistic because teenagers do act like that. They do act selfish. They do act bratty. And a lot of teenagers struggle with loneliness. A lot of teenagers struggle with not being able to fit in, and this causes them to make really bad decisions. I think that part was very realistic because she is a kid. She doesn't make the best choices. Does that mean that her choices are valid and that it's an excuse? No, of course it's not an excuse. But I think the show does a good job at kind of showcasing that. Like her mom puts her in her place when she acts out. And I think that is extremely valid and it makes sense. But people need to realize that Ginny is not a bad person. She just has a lot of issues and makes the wrong choices, which is what everyone in the show has done. So I don't think the hate on Ginny makes any sense. And I think it's invalidating and it doesn't make sense. Also, what people need to realize is that back to her self-harming issues and not understanding herself. At the end of episode 8, she literally explains that she feels like she doesn't have a voice. She was raised invalidated. She was raised to a point where she didn't understand herself. People need to realize that Ginny was she was raised in foster care. She was raised by her mom. We don't see Ginny's perspective on this. We don't even really know if Ginny knows consciously how her mom truly is. We don't really see that. And people need to realize that she has trauma. This is traumatic. Going through foster care and being raised in the situation that she is very traumatic. Always moving everywhere, never having a foundation, never having a place is very traumatic to someone's health because they're not going to know where they belong and they're going to be confused and they're going to cling on to the first person that gives them attention, which is what I think she has done with Marcus and with Hunter. Like her boy situation makes a lot of sense to me because she wants to fit in. She wants to be with a person who is idolized and who makes sense. But with Marcus, she has emotional connection with. So her struggles to kind of choose between the two is realistic because she doesn't really understand herself. She wants to find a balance. So I feel like that makes total sense. And I think that every character in the show is selfish at some point. Um, I don't think Marcus is that selfish, but I feel like everyone else is kind of selfish because they have made bad choices for good reasons, but it could come off as selfish. So that's my reasoning. That's why I believe that Ginny Miller is overly hated on. She does not deserve to be that hated on. She is a teen. She has problems understanding herself, and you can see throughout the show she struggles with her mixed identity, accepting that she's half black, accepting that she's half white. She has trouble fitting in with groups, like fitting in with her friends, even they don't understand like how it is to be mixed race. Like when she first meets Abby, Nora, they make kind of insensitive, racially insensitive comments. And even when those leadership, black leadership kids reach out to her, she kind of felt hesitant to connect with them because I don't know, it's probably just like it could even be a racist issue. A lot of people are afraid to fit in with someone they can relate to because they want to look popular. She probably wanted to look popular. She probably thought that hanging out with the black kids wasn't as popular. It's just really realistic. Like a lot of people, it's sad, but a lot of people struggle with these issues. And it's really sad, like not knowing who you are, not knowing what you believe in, like not understanding yourself, not feeling black enough or white enough. It makes complete sense. And her character makes complete sense to me. Do I agree with everything Ginny has done? No. Did Ginny annoy me sometimes? Yes. But does she deserve to be hated on as much as she has by the TikTok fandom, by everyone? No. She is literally a kid, and I do not care what anyone says. Ginny's reaction to Georgia was valid because she doesn't even understand herself. She feels a disconnection for both of her parents because they both do not understand what it is to be mixed race because one is completely black, one is completely white. And she kind of has a mixture and she has mixed issues that people don't really get. Like you can never understand every race unless you are that race. And that's what people don't get. So she already feels this connection and her mom's keeping secrets. Her mom has this dark past that she doesn't know about. Of course she's going to be hurt because she's lonely. She doesn't have friends. She doesn't have a place of belonging. There's just too many things going around her. So of course her situation and how she feels is going to be pertaining to that situation. So yeah, that's my argument. That's why I believe that Ginny Miller is not a bad character. She's just a regular teen who has a lot of issues. But when I first watched the show, I love Ginny. I love Ginny. Of course, some of the things she has done was kind of messed up and rude and disrespectful, but overall, I really loved her character. I related to her a lot, and I think that Ginny and Georgia did a good representation of teenagers. Like they made the teenagers realistic in the show. Like that's how teenagers act. And I don't care what anyone says, teenagers do act like that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy my opinions video, just small rant about like why I believe that Ginny Miller isn't a bad person. Of course I love Georgia. I just want to say that because people might think I don't like her. I do love Georgia, but I do think that people romanticize killing people. If you're attractive and you're a villain, people kind of just romanticize you in media. And I don't think that's right. Like if Georgia Miller was a real person, people wouldn't like defend her. Like she is a Robin Hood. She does bad things for good reasons, yes. But if this was real life, come on now. Y'all would all act like Ginny. Y'all would all run away like Ginny because you would be scared. Stop hating on Ginny. She is just being realistic. Okay? She's just being realistic. Okay, that was my rant. If you want to like argue in the comments, go ahead, but please be respectful. Okay, bye guys, I'm out.